Is there anything about risks in Scrum? Yes, there is. A lot. Actually, Scrum is all about decreasing risks. Although implicitly, without a separate activity of risk management. I'm going to give you 14 examples of how Scrum deals with risks. To control risk and optimize predictability, Scrum employs an iterative incremental approach. The work is being done in sprints. Sprints enable predictability by ensuring inspection and adaptation are made at least every calendar month. Generally, the smaller the project, the less risk it has. Each sprint may be considered a short project. When a sprint's horizon is too long, the complexity rises and risk may increase. Shorter sprints generate more learning cycles and limit the risk of cost and effort to a smaller time frame. The Scrum team is small enough to remain nimble, typically 10 or fewer people. In general, smaller teams communicate better. All Scrum events are optimally held at the same time and same place. This reduces the risk of miscommunication and over-complexity. To gain valid results from inspection and adaptation, the process of work and the work itself must be visible, transparent to both the people performing the work and people receiving the work, the Scrum team and its stakeholders. In Scrum, important decisions are based on the perceived state of its three formal artifacts. Artifacts that have high transparency lead to decisions that decrease risk. Transparency enables inspection. The Scrum artifacts and the progress toward agreed goals must be inspected frequently and diligently to detect potentially undesirable variances or problems. To help with inspection, Scrum provides cadence in the form of its 5 events. This looks like risk identification meetings. Inspection enables adaptation. Adaptation becomes easier when the people involved are empowered and self-managing, thus enabled to deal with risks themselves. The Scrum team is expected to adapt the moment it learns anything new through inspection. This is similar to risk mitigation activities. Sprint length is fixed. You cannot make it longer or increase the duration when you suddenly don't have enough time to finish the job. This eliminates the risk of slipped deadlines. The product owner is accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team by managing the product backlog, an emergent, ordered list of what is needed to improve the product. As far as this list is ordered to maximize the value, the risk of doing unimportant work and not delivering the most important things is minimized. Product backlog items that can be done by the Scrum team within one sprint are deemed ready for selection in a sprint planning event. The team does not take into the sprint anything that they know in advance will not be completed by the end of it. This lowers the risk of not delivering in time. Based on empiricism, the team uses the knowledge about their past performance to be more confident in their sprint forecasts. The developers who will be doing the work are responsible for the sizing. This diminishes the risk of poor planning. Until 2020, the Scrum Guide mentioned the 3 questions for the daily Scrum. The third one is especially valuable. I usually extend and elaborate it a bit to sound like this. Do I see or anticipate something that is already hindering or only hypothetically can prevent or impede or slow down me and therefore the whole team from meeting the sprint goal? This is a natural, implicit and gentle way to identify and address risks during the implementation. The Scrum team should create at least one increment by the end of the sprint. It must be valuable and usable, thus mitigating the risk of delivering nothing at all. Some functionality will be delivered. This is the power of incrementality. Any increment that is shown to stakeholders during the sprint or presented for inspection at the sprint review should comply with the definition of done, a formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product, thus eliminating the risk of low quality. The Scrum team may create multiple increments within the sprint. Each increment should be additive to all prior increments and thoroughly verified, ensuring that all increments work together. This mitigates the risk of broken integration. The team can deliver the increments to stakeholders anytime during the sprint and must present all of them at the sprint review to receive valuable feedback from stakeholders, thus reducing the risk of misunderstanding customer requests to a time frame of one sprint. And the last one, from me. The Scrum Guide says that the exact approaches for defining product backlog items and their order may vary widely across organizations, Scrum teams, and individuals. Therefore, you can choose your own approach to ordering elements. In particular, take into account the risk of the job from any perspective, including technical feasibility and meeting customer expectations. That's all about risks in Scrum for now. Otherwise, we will repeat the Scrum Guide and the full course here. As I said, Scrum is all about reducing the risk to consistently and effectively deliver value.